Today I'm going to do a recreation of this snowy glow-in-the-dark cabin that was requested. I hope you enjoy.
Okay, so I have prepped these tips. I have buffed the shiny surface and then wiped them down with alcohol. And for the base for our glow-in-the-dark snowy cabin scene, we are going to be using the Vrenmol glow-in-the-dark polish. We will be using the Nightlight, which is a purple to blue glow-in-the-dark. The White Jewel, which is a pink to greenish glow. And then we have our Bluelight, which is strictly blue. So we're going to ombre these three colors together on the nail. I'm going to be using my Madame Glam ombre brush that came in my Advent nail art calendar, which was so cool, by the way. All kinds of fun stuff in there. So as you can see, this is an ombre brush. It's basically a flat brush that has the bristles thinned at the end here. Alrighty, so I have my gloves on to protect my fingers from the gel because I have given myself a gel allergy from doing my nails way too often and mixing products. So we're going to do this on a tip instead of on my hands. Alright, so we're going to start off with our Nightlights, which is the purple. And we're going to bring that down about a third of the way. Then we're going to come in with our pink, and you dab and push up into the other color. And then last but not least, we have our blue. And by kind of pushing up into the other color, you're making sure you're not getting any of that pink on your brush. Then we're going to take our ombre brush, and we're just going to very lightly dab right there at that joint. Now, obviously I'm not very good at this. I haven't been doing ombres that much. You can also take and swipe sideways like so. And then we're going to clean that off a little bit before we move on. So we swipe, going up and down right at that joint to give ourselves a nice smooth blend. And I know that the first coat is going to look kind of crazy, guys, but that's why you do layers. Our first coat has had a full cure, and now we're going to repeat that process. So starting with the purple at the top. I'm kind of doing a generous coat here. And back in with the ombre brush. You see the second coat is looking much more like what we were trying for. And you can do like 3 coats if you want, but being that we're going to cover most of this is our background, I'm just going to stick with the 2 coats. Bring that blue up a fudge. There we go. Alright, liking the way that looks, so we're going to cure that for a full 60 seconds, and then we will darker ones in the next step. So now we're going to use a detail brush and my major Dijit color coat. This is a jelly black, and we're going to use that for the trees in our background. So put a little bit on the palette over here, and then we are going to pick up just a tiny bit of that, and starting right about here, we're just going to do little zigzaggy motions, adding dots of color as we go to kind of make this nice tall pine tree in the background. And you see how just dabbing your brush, getting that nice faded out tree. I'm going to do another one over here on this side. And as you can see, I did not get all the way to the edge on this, but it's just a tip, so it'll be okay. You would want to be more conscientious of your edges if you were doing this. So just dab, tiny little dots, getting wider at the base. Okay, when you like what you've got, give it a cure. 30-second cure is fine for this. We don't really have to do a full cure yet. Get your trees the way you want them. In the cabin, I'm going to use these two colors from Madam Glam. We have Firewood and Nana's Eggnog. These also were in the Advent calendar. So we want to first outline where you want the roof line to go. So we're going to have a V slightly off center from the nail. Then you want to have a line that's coming at a slight angle and down. Connect the two. And then we're going to bring a vertical line from those corners as close to straight as you can, coming down. And then right now we're just doing the outline, and we're going to give this a flash cure for 10 seconds. Now we're going to fill in our cabin. Right now we're just blocking in color because we're going to come over the top of this and then we'll add our details. And it doesn't really matter if your coverage is not exactly even, because I mean, it's a log cabin. It's gonna have uneven places in the colors. All right, another 10-second cue. And for the roof, I mixed a little bit of our jelly black in with the brown just to give it a little bit darker color, which you're really not going to see much of this because we're going to put snow on the roof, but you know, gotta make it look good, right? Okay, so there's our cabin so far. Another 10-second cure. Guys, I forgot to record this part. I started on the naked trees on either side of the cabin, went in with straight black on a very small brush, and just kind of dragging very lightly, gently lifting the brush as you go up so that your branches get wispy at the ends. going to use my Madam Glam white gel liner. Focus. Anyway, and we're going to do the snow on the cabin and on the ground in front. So, starting off with our cabin. I'm just going to block in that roof line. Don't forget the other side here. There we go. And then come down along the tree line at the base of the cabin, like so. And we're going to leave that little gap because I'm going to make like a road coming down from the cabin itself. So we're going to bring this around like this. And just kind of leaving a gap in the center that gets wider as we go. And we are going to fill that in with white, but it's going to be like a mix of the white and gray, or the jelly black, so that it looks like a road. Okay. Now just fill all of this in and give it a quick full cure. Okay, next I'm going to use the Madam Glam color Drummer Boy, which is this pretty like army green for the trees in the foreground. So we're going to put a couple of little evergreens right here. I got so much paint on the brush. There we go. That's better. Now, I know it's going to look like a big blob at the moment, but once we get some snow on it, it'll actually look like a tree. And put one on that side, and another one over here on this side. And it's easier, you know, if you do a straight line and then just kind of do your dots along that line. That way you've got a straight tree. So, I'm gonna have this tree at the edge of our little road here. Okay, that looks crappy. But like I said, once we get the snow on, it'll look totally different. Okay. So far so good. Okay, now we're going to go back with our gel liner and just very lightly dab our snow on these little trees. Just takes a tiny amount of paint here and barely touching the nail. The more pressure you use, the more you're going to leave behind, and then it's going to look all crappy. Tiny little strokes that barely touch the nail. And you are a little bit too thick. Okay. Flash cure that black and add some details to this. So get the tiniest little bit of black. Just add a few little shadowy areas, especially under the tree. Okay, And then I'm going to use some of the jelly black to go under this one because I don't want it to be too opaque. Alright, we got our trees going here. My nail's trying to fall off the stand. Okay, so now what I want to do is take a little bit of the eggnog and a little bit of our jelly black, and I'm going to fill in the path that's coming away from the door there. And I'm just kind of dry brushing this on. I'm not putting a really thick layer because we've got to come back with white and make it snowy. So got a little bit of white on my palette. I have not cleaned my brush, nor have I cured the eggnog black mixture that we just put on our path, because I want them to kind of blend together. And I'm just using side to side strokes on this. And I know it's looking crazy right now, but once we go back with our white and clean up the edges of our snowbanks, it's gonna look awesome. So let's give this a 30-second. I'm going to use a shorter, slightly fatter detail brush to come back in with my white and crispen up snowbanks. I'm just adding a little bit more in the center of the path so that it's not quite such a drastic color difference there. And I'm going to take some of the jelly black and kind of there we go. Blend that together a little bit more. Okay. All right. And we're going to give that a 30-second cure and continue. Now I'm going to take some of my black and do the finer details on our cabin. If I can get the damn nail to stay on there. There we go. Okay. So just the tiniest little bit of black. I'm going to come underneath the eaves and do the sidewall here. Once again, you're just doing your kind of rectangle outline here. Get some structure to your cabin. A little bit of shadow under the eaves, like so. And a little bit darker at the base of the cabin right here. Okay. Then we're just going to drag some of that color in from the edge to kind of give it a shadow and some depth on that side there. Okay. Give that a 10-second cure, and then we're going to work on our windows. I'm going to go in with white, and you need a good brush for this. Something that has a fine tip. This one's going to have to work because all of my others are getting a little ratty. So just pick up the tiniest little bit of paint, and we're going to do our door. Now, most people would not have their door open on such a snowy day, but if we don't do the door with light coming out of it, you're not going to see it. So we're going to do that, and then over here on this side, we're going to do a tiny little window. Make sure that your lines are parallel to one another, otherwise you're going to look like you've got a crazy wonky window in a crooked house. And the reason that we're putting this white down is so that when we come back to the glow in the dark yellow that we're going to put over it, they will show up. So for our windows and doors, I'm using the Vrenmol color Solar, which is more of a, it says it's an orangey shade that glows yellow, but to me it just looks yellow. So we're going to grab some of that and put it right on top of our white that we just put down for the windows and doors. Now, this color is not very opaque, and if you want to use more than one coat, you can. I think on the set that I am recreating, I actually did 2 coats of this to give it the right color I wanted. That's looking pretty good. Alright, so okay, now for the fun part. First, we're going to take some alcohol and remove the tacky layer. Oh. Okay, fine. We're gonna be like that now. Alright, get this thing back on the stand. There we go. Okay. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take a little bit more of our white and just hit the areas where you want the glow to be the most pronounced. So we're going to do the roof line, and the snowbank right next to the house. And this glow-in-the-dark powder I'm about to use is only going to stick where this wet gel is because we've removed the tacky layer. So you just kind of place it wherever you want your glow to be. Okay, so now that I have the snow that I want to glow, we're going to take the white glow-in-the-dark powder, which I got from Amazon. I love this stuff, it actually glows white. Some of the ones that you find, you know, they'll glow yellow or something like that, or even blue. This one actually has a white glow. So we're just going to get our brush here and tap to sprinkle the glow-in-the-dark powder wherever we put our wet gel. we're going to tap that off and give that a full cure before you brush it. Okay, now that that has had a full cure, we're going to dust off the excess glow powder. Get a slightly fluffier brush here. There we go. Okay, so now we're going to go back in with our black and a fine liner and add a few more details on the trees and at the edge of our path. So I'm going to take the jelly black and just at the edge of the path kind of define that edge. You want your shadows to be a little bit deeper right at the doorway. Okay, looking good so far. Alright, I'm going to give that a 10-second cure, and then I'm going to go in with straight black and do some more branches and shadows. Okay, so shadow under that tree. Alright, I'm going to outline very carefully my window. Trying to make it look like a window without getting all wonky. I need my glasses on. And I need to stop bumping this down, because I'm going to make you dizzy. There we go. And a little shadow this side right here. Nice. Alright. Coming back in with this little black line on your details really is what makes your nail art look good. Okay, so now I'm going to draw in some branches at the end here, so my tip will stay on the freaking sand. But you didn't. There we go. Alright, so I'm back in with a little brush right here. And that poor brush is getting so daddy. And this little Christmas tree here just kind of vanished in the snow. So we're going to add some shadows to make him pop back out there. There we go. Maybe give it a little outline there at the top. Yeah, that's looking good. Okay. Bring some more branches in from the side here. Just a few. Don't go overboard, which is so easy to do. Okay. And same thing from this side. Just a few little small branches to kind of bring everything together. Alright, I think we got that looking good. So we're going to give that a quick 30-second kiss. Last but not least, we're going to put on a lovely shiny top coat, and then we will look at our finished design both in the light and without. Okie dokie. So we are done with Cure. And this is what it looks like in natural light. And then this is the glow. So pretty. I hope you guys like this design and enjoyed watching how I did this. Please give it a like and a thumbs up. And if you want to see some more, let me know.